Hello, everyone. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back. Thank you so much to all of you who have been watching my channel recently. The numbers have gone way up, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate that. Subscriptions have gone up too, so you guys, thank you so much for watching. Today, I am going to do a scrapbook border. My sample is with the Croptoberfest paper, but I'm going to be using the Autumn Cottage collection to actually do the page today. All right, let's switch over here and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so this page is actually from the Autumn Autumn Cottage, sorry, I forgot the name. The Autumn Cottage Project Booklet. Now, this was available if you purchased the collection, um, like within the first week or two. So I'm not sure it's still available, but check it out. Your advisor may have a copy of it, but I just wanted to show you. It's got some really great ideas. First, it tells you how to cut all of the papers to make all of the samples. But today I'm just going to do this one. So this one was done on white paper for the background. You could also just put it directly onto a scrapbook page. And I didn't do that today. I did a little different. And the sizes are different. These are smaller. Originally, this is an 8 by 8 square. And this is a 7 by 8 piece here. And then these are, I think, 4 by 4 squares. And the circles are smaller too. So I actually just enlarged everything for my sample right here. So I did a 10 by 10 square. I did a 10 by 7-inch rectangle. This is 5 inches. This circle is 4 inches. And then this one is about 3.5. And then I used a fence punch, and you can use any fence punch. You don't have to use a fence punch if you don't have one, and some stickers. So let's get started. Okay, so for this one, I'm going to use the Parakeet Shimmer green paper. I like using the shimmer papers for the backgrounds because sometimes the cardstock just makes your page, once you get it on the page, a little thick. The other option is to use the top loading sleeves, so you can then just slide your pages down inside and put, front and back in them as well. So this is what I'm going to start with. So I'm going to move this one out of the way. And I'm going to cut this one. This is the back. It's got some really pretty pumpkins on it, but it's got some really pretty just kind of marbled color on here. And so I'm going to cut this one into a 10 by 10-inch square. The actual directions say it should be an 8 by 8, but like I said, I made them a little bit bigger. So I'm going to cut this to a 10 by 10-inch square. There's 10 inches there, and there's going to be 10 inches here. What I try to do sometimes is this arm doesn't always go straight out. So to make sure that it's going to be straight, I'll push it up just so that it stays straight on there. And cut this piece off. Okay, so there's my 10 by 10. Now I'm going to use this paper for the 7 by 10 inch. So I'm going to cut the 10 inch first. And make sure that's straight right there. And then I'm going to cut this into a 7 inch. So it's a 10 by 7 inch rectangle. Yeah, that looks right. Okay. Now most of these pieces are scrap. but this piece I am going to use. So sorry about that sunlight poking in right there. Okay, I think I'm done with my trimmer. So I'm going to move that off to the side. Keep this one. Now this one, I can use the other side on, and this is going to be a little tight. Now I'm going to use the circle cutter. I'm not going to use the custom cutting system because I had a suggestion from one of you great people to use the circle cutter a little more. So the directions say to have a 4-inch square and a 4-inch circle and a 3-inch circle. I'm going to make this a 5-inch circle. So what I've done is I've loosened this up right here and I've moved this over to the 5 inches right here and then tightened it back down. Now this is going to be a little bit tricky because this is 5 inches. So if I center this on my mat to where I have 2.5 inches on each side, I can get this centered. Now this right here is the center, and I've got a mark up here for the center. And I'm going to put this on about that 6-inch line, okay? To make sure I've got that pretty straight, I'm going to actually just use, you can use a ruler, you can use a piece of paper. I think I'll use my ruler if I can find it. You know, I lost my other ruler the other day too. I guess I've got both of them missing. Okay, so I'm going to put this here, make sure it's straight across the bottom at the 6-inch line, and go up. And then I'm going to move this over so it's about on the 6 inches. It's important for this particular piece of paper because it's only 5 inches wide to make sure you get it as centered as possible. Hold this down because it's going to hold it in the middle. I'm going to make sure it doesn't cut off. Oop, it cuts off on the top there. So I'm going to bring it down just a little bit because I want to have enough room to be able to make both circle cuts out of this. And here I need to make sure it's centered again. Just going to eyeball it. It doesn't have to be perfect because I'm not going to have the whole circle showing. So as long as most of it's on here. But then you want to hold this down so it stays in place. Push in the white button, which is going to bring, loosen up the blade, and then push down on this knob. And then we're just going to cut. And it's almost perfect. I have a little bit of a square on here, so that's going to go tucked underneath on the inside, so we're not going to be able to see it. Okay. And now I'm going to do the 4-inch square. So I'm going to loosen this up, move this down to the 4, tighten it back up again, and do the same thing. Now this doesn't have to be as perfect because being a 5-inch piece of paper, a 4-inch circle is going to fit just fine. I just want to make sure it doesn't go off the edge of the paper. Yeah, it's going to work. Okay. So hold this down, push the button in, and it doesn't want to move because it's stuck on that piece of paper on the top. But there we go. And the 4-inch circle. Okay, the last piece I'm going to cut is going to be this fence border. Now whatever fence border you have, if you have this one, great. If you don't, use another one. This is the Field and Fence border. The rustic fence border maker cartridge that I used on my last video is still available, so you could use that one on this too. This is just going to be a little different look. So because it's a border cartridge or a border punch, you will line the paper up starting up with either one of these black marks, depending on if you're going to have the paper going towards the right or going towards the left. You will line it up on one of these lines. I'm going to move it over to the right. So I'm going to line this up on the right-hand black mark there. And I'm going to push the paper straight against the back. Okay? I'm going to punch. Now, because this particular pattern is duplicating multiple times, sometimes it's hard to see where to line this piece up with. This particular one does have this little triangle right here. So when you've punched it, your paper will then have this little triangle right here, this way, okay? And you can line that up. It makes it a lot easier to line this up as you go across. So match the pattern on this side. Make sure that the piece you already punched is matched up perfect with that pattern, covering up all the blue, and that your little triangle is right there. Punch it again, move it over, cover up all the blue, make sure the triangle is right there, and just continue this all the way across. Now, this last time, it's kind of hard to make sure that this is pushed against the back. So I push it from the bottom to make sure that it's pushed all the way to the back, and make sure that the pattern is lined up perfect so that it doesn't get off on this last punch. Okay, and there we have that. Now, this is the back side. This is the brown that I used on the border from last week. Hold on, I'm adjusting the shape because that's kind of in the way. It's still going to show through. Oh, well, okay. But like I said in the last video, I really like the back of this paper. It just had a really fun pattern. So that's what I've used for this particular fence. I really like just kind of that rustic look on this fence for that paper. Okay, so now I'm going to move the rest of this out of the way. And we can start assembling. So this one is really pretty quick and easy. I like this a lot. So I'm going to center my paper on here. Okay. Now this 10-inch piece, I'm going to put adhesive on the back. And it's not going to go down the center of this page. It's going to be a little off to the left and up towards the top. So it's about 1/4 of an inch in and 1/4 of an inch down from the edge. So just a little bit of the green is going to show on the top. Then this piece is going to overlap that just a little bit. And I'm going to bring it down to probably about 2 inches. And I'm going to bring it over to about 1/8 of an inch on the right-hand side. Make sure it's straight. You can just eyeball it. And then we have that on there. Okay, so next is going to be this circle. And I'm going to slide it up underneath here. So that part that didn't get exactly, you know what? That's not enough contrast. Let's see here. Okay, so we're going to improvise, and I'm going to cut those circles again out of this brown paper. May not be what I want to end up with, but I think it'll be fine. So I'm going to do this again. I'm going to slide this around to up to the 5-inch mark. I don't have to center it as much, just to make sure it's not going to go off the paper. And cut a 5-inch piece. And a 4-inch piece. And I can get them both on here. Let's see. Yeah, that'll work. Okay, bring this back. And I'm just going to add this under here. I think I'm going to have the wood grain going horizontal. Yep, I like that there. So I will take this down. And it's not very far from the top of this here, but it's moved over a little less. So it's like a 1/16 of an inch from the top and an 1/8 of an inch from the left, right here. And I'll put this one right here. So this one's about a 1/2 inch, 3/4 of an inch over from the right. And about an inch or so from the top. I'm going to move that up just a little bit. So it's kind of half and half circle on the leaf paper and half underneath. Okay, a little bit of improvisation there. What do I do with my fence? Okay, so let's see. This fence would have gone fine if I didn't have that brown paper, but I really like the way this looks. Isn't that cool? I love that paper, this fence. Okay, put some adhesive on here. I'm going to bring this down quite a ways. So I'm going to put a sticker or something underneath. Let's see. Bring it down to about there, to where the bottom of the fence is about a 1/2 an inch up. Okay. And then what I did here was I made sure that the orange wasn't showing through the fence, because I think it was going to look a little strange with that orange showing through like that. So I just put the orange right up against the bottom of this here. And now we can embellish. So, this, I was going to put a photo on. So if I go ahead and put a photo in this circle down here, I'm going to cut another circle. And I'm just going to move this down just a couple of notches. So see here, it's right on the 4. I'm going to move it down just a couple of notches on here. And it's going to make this circle about a 3.5 inch circle, just a little bit bigger, but it'll fit right on there perfect. So I'm just going to use the back of this. Put this on here about the center. Let's see. I might want to use it for something else. So let's do this. And the closer you get to this little blue notch, the kind of the harder it is for this to spin around, because my hands get in the way. But there we go. So then you can put photo right down here like this. So I like this because you can get at least 3 photos on here. The original one only had like room for 2 photos, and they used this circle as kind of an embellishment or something. The other thing you can do is add a journaling box. And I just added a couple of stickers on the bottom here. So I'm going to do the same thing on this. And I just found my ruler. And let's see. So many fun stickers on here. Oh, I think I'm going to put this tree here. Should I put it behind the fence? I think I'm going to put the tree behind the fence. I'm going to use my multi-purpose tool. Lift this up and stick this right about here. And we have these really cool leaves. I'm going to take these and put them on that fence. I'm going to put them down just a little bit so that it still shows the fence. Isn't that pretty? And then maybe something up on the top. Let's see. Apple orchard, beautiful, crisp fall days. Bring in the knits. Let's see. I think I'll put thankful up here and grateful here. Okay. And there we go. Quick, easy scrapbook page. And like I said, this one will do at least 3 photos. You could put another one down here if you want, or put a journaling box down here. But this way, because I made it bigger, you can spread your photos out more and get more photos on it. Okay. Thanks so much for watching, you guys. We are done for today. And I hope you have a great week. And I hope you enjoy this video. Let me know what you think. I'm really loving all of these fall colors. California doesn't get much of that, especially here in Bakersfield. So it's fun to imagine and pretend. But then we're going to be taking the grandkids to the pumpkin patch. So that's exactly where I'm going to be putting these photos, is on this page. So thanks so much for watching. Thanks so much for subscribing if you have. If you haven't, think about it. Might be fun and I'd appreciate it. Okay? I will talk to you guys again soon. Thank you. Bye.